Mastering Discipline, the Secret to Success and Greatness. All right, my brilliant bunch. It's Emily Bennett here, and today we're talking about something that's absolutely crucial if you want to be great and successful in life. Discipline. Now, I know what you're thinking. Discipline sounds a bit like something you'd hear from your old school head teacher, doesn't it? Keep your shirt tucked in and sit up straight. But hear me out. Discipline isn't about following boring rules. It's about creating the habits and mindset that'll get you where you want to go. Let me hit you with a stat. Did you know that 92% of people who set New Year's resolutions fail to keep them? 92%. That's almost everyone throwing in the towel by February. And do you know why? Because they lack discipline. They've got the dream, the goal, the excitement, but they're missing that secret sauce that keeps them on track when things get tough. And discipline, my friends, is that secret sauce. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. Back when I was studying at Oxford, I wasn't naturally the most disciplined person in the world. I loved the pub as much as the next student and would have much rather gone to the local with my mates than sit in the library reading financial theory. But I quickly learned that if I didn't buckle down and focus, I'd fall behind. So, I had to train myself to be disciplined. And that's the thing. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Stick with me, and I'll show you how discipline can completely transform your life. Whether you're aiming for success in your career, fitness, finances, or anything else. 1. What is discipline, really? All right, let's get one thing straight. Discipline isn't about being boring or giving up all the fun stuff in life. It's about having the focus to stick to your goals, even when you can't be bothered. It's the ability to keep going when you'd rather hit snooze or watch one more episode of EastEnders. Think of discipline like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. At first, it's a bit painful. You have to force yourself to get up early, say no to distractions, and actually finish what you start. But over time, it becomes second nature. Take athletes, for example. You don't think Mo Farah rolls out of bed at 5 a.m. because he loves running that much, do you? No way. He's got discipline drilled into him. And that's why he's great. He's trained his brain and body to push through the tough days when the rest of us are still snuggled under the duvet. 2. The power of daily habits, small steps, big changes. Here's the thing about discipline. It's not about making massive changes all at once. It's about small, consistent habits that add up over time. It's the little stuff, like drinking enough water, sticking to a budget, or hitting the gym 3 times a week. It's these tiny actions, done day after day, that compound into something great. Let me tell you about my morning routine. A few years back, I was all over the place. I'd get up whenever, scroll through Instagram for far too long, then rush around like a headless chicken trying to get the kids ready and myself out the door. It was chaos. But I decided to make a change. I started waking up at the same time every day, 6 a.m. sharp. No faffing about, straight into a 15-minute meditation, followed by a quick workout. At first, it was a nightmare. I hated it. I wanted to sleep in and pretend the alarm wasn't going off. But after a few weeks, it became automatic. And once I had that morning routine locked down, the rest of my day just flowed better. That's the power of daily discipline. Small changes, massive impact. 3. Discipline in action, my Oxford days. Let me share a little more from my time at Oxford. When you're surrounded by some of the brightest minds in the world, it's easy to feel like you're not good enough. Imposter syndrome? Anyone? I had moments where I thought, why am I here? I'll never keep up. But you know what? Discipline got me through. I made myself a study schedule and stuck to it. Every night, while my mates were heading out to grab a pint, I was there in my dorm room, hitting the books. Not because I'm some sort of robot, but because I knew that success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who put the hours in, rain or shine. And the funny thing is, by the time finals rolled around, it wasn't the naturally gifted students who came out on top. It was the disciplined ones, the ones who kept at it, even when they didn't feel like it. That's the key. You've got to show up every single day, even on the days when you'd rather be anywhere else. 4. Discipline in fitness. The hardest part is starting. All right, let's talk about fitness for a second, because this is where a lot of people struggle with discipline. You know how it is. You get all hyped up to start a new workout regime, maybe after watching some motivational video on YouTube, but 2 weeks in, you're back to lounging on the sofa, eating biscuits. Sound familiar? The hardest part of any fitness journey is simply showing up. That first run in the rain? Horrible. That first weightlifting session where your muscles are screaming at you the next day? Even worse. But here's the thing. Consistency beats motivation every time. You don't need to be motivated to get in shape. You just need to be disciplined enough to show up, even when you don't want to. I remember a time when I'd signed up for one of those fancy fitness challenges. You know, the ones where you're supposed to be beach ready in 6 weeks. Week 1, I smashed it. Week 2, still going strong. Week 3, I was absolutely shattered. But I dragged myself to the gym anyway. Not because I wanted to, but because I'd made a commitment. And do you know what? By the end of that challenge, I felt amazing. Not just because of how I looked, but because I'd stuck with it. 5. Discipline in finances. Keep your eyes on the prize. Let's not forget money because discipline is crucial here too. It's easy to splash out on stuff you don't need. A cheeky Amazon purchase here, a takeaway there, and suddenly your bank account's looking a bit sad. Trust me, I've been there. Back when James and I were saving for our first home, it was discipline that kept us on track. We set up a savings plan, cut back on the little luxuries, and focused on the long game. No more expensive brunches or spontaneous shopping sprees in Covent Garden, as tempting as those were. Instead, we stuck to the plan, and bit by bit, we saw our savings grow. It wasn't easy, and there were definitely days when I wanted to throw the budget out the window. But every time I resisted, I reminded myself that discipline equals freedom. The more disciplined you are with your money now, the more freedom you'll have later on. 6. How to build discipline. Tips and tricks. So, how do you actually build discipline? It's not like you can just wake up one day and suddenly be the most disciplined person in the world, right? Here are some tips to get you started. Start small. Don't try to change everything all at once. Pick one habit, whether it's waking up earlier, eating healthier, or saving a bit more money, and focus on that. Once it's locked in, move on to the next one. Be consistent. Remember, discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The key is to be consistent, even on the days when you can't be bothered. Reward yourself. Don't forget to celebrate your wins. When you hit a milestone, treat yourself. It doesn't have to be big, just a little something to remind you that you're making progress. Forgive yourself. Discipline isn't about being perfect. You're going to have off days, and that's okay. What matters is that you get back on track and keep going. So, there you have it. The power of discipline. It's not flashy, it's not glamorous, but it's the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. Whether you're working on your career, your fitness, your finances, or anything else, discipline is what will get you across the finish line. Start small, stay consistent, and remember, discipline. Today brings success tomorrow. If you've got any questions or need help getting started, drop me a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on staying disciplined and reaching your goals. Cheers for watching, and keep pushing forward.